Hey everybody, welcome to another video review. This is of the Weta Workshop's line of mini helms. I'm just trying to, work through them. These are the newer releases, so it's a lot more convenient for me to get them out and talk about them. I have all of them, but they're kind of tucked away and hard to get places in my display cabinet. So I'm just sort of wrapping up what I can. All of it's going to be out of order. This is of the most recent one released. It just actually came to me today, and I live in California, so I must be one of the first, I think, one of the first in the world to get this. I pre-ordered direct from Weta, and this is, of course, the hat of Radagast the Brown from the Hobbit movies. Now, I've gone on record before in saying how disappointed I am, with sort of the quality of the new releases. I separate into two basic releases. I'm going to move this up a little bit. You can see the hat better. I separated into the original Sideshow Weta line, which was like essentially all metal. And then years down the road, after Sideshow and Weta went separate ways, Weta Workshop decided to rekindle the mini helm line and sort of filling the gaps from the original Lord of the Rings movies of helmets that were never made, they never got around to making, and indeed a lot of statues and things like that they didn't get to, and on the site and Weta Workshop was able to fill in those gaps later. But there's that, and of course creating new ones from the Hobbit trilogy of films. And why I think that the design is by and large the same quality as you would expect from the company that made these helmets in the first place. So there's certainly no step off in, I think, the quality of the sculpt, or the paint and the design. They're all very consistent. There was just a tremendous, sort of loss of fidelity and loss of quality with the change to, resin and or, plastic, essentially, from the old metal components. So I've been on record many times talking about that, and I talk about that with every single video, how I wish that they were metal again, especially when, if you think about it, this is a helmet line, right? That's a helm. And so they really, is screaming to be made in metal. But I have to say that this release, is really good. Excuse me, I almost choked a little bit. And I'm very pleased with it. I think it's actually one of their better releases, in my opinion, probably top 3, and can probably vie for like a top 10 position in the entire mini helm lineup, just because of the design choices and the attention to detail, and kind of the subject matter of Radagast the Brown himself, and how whimsical the design is. So before going into detail about the helm, let's take a look here at the actual pamphlet. So you can see that they have the hat. It's sculpted by Sean Bolton, who has done almost all of them. And you can see the little nest with the bird eggs, really cute. So let's open it up. So as usual, the back is simply just showcasing all the helms, and it's like a mixture, by the way, of the helms from Sideshow Weta, for instance, like Gandalf the Grey's hat. They kind of, I think, had to put that in because you have Radagast the Brown, so of course, right? So it's a mixture of the Sideshow Weta releases and then the Weta Workshop releases. But I think with the exception of the hat of Gandalf the Grey, which they did as a kind of a nod to the fact that this is the hat of Radagast the Brown. Every other helm here is actually from Weta Workshop, except these last 4, which is from the Gondor series of mini helms. And the Gondor Kingsguard helm was released by Weta Workshop. So the last 4 from Sideshow Weta, and then Gandalf the Grey's hat is from Sideshow Weta. So again, let me just show the pictures first. This is the concept of Radagast. More concept artwork. And then, of course, the actor playing him. Again, kind of showing these pictures. And then this is a contrast between Saruman the White and Radagast the Brown. The contrast in both their staff as well as their overall look. And then here, I'm going to sort of just show this to you so you can freeze frame it and read it yourself. Go back here so that my job here is to do it so that you can actually, it's in focus so that you can actually freeze it so that you can read it at your leisure. And then down below here, of course, is the caption of all of the pictures. Okay, so there you go. I like to make little videos of all of these pamphlets because they really, tell you about the background of the piece and why they're special. Let's take a look here. So I got 287 out of 750 made. Sculptor Sean Bolton, Weta Workshop, The Hobbit. This is from specifically, I think, was it the first movie? It might have been. Yeah. Can't get close enough. You have to freeze frame and take a look at what part of the Hobbit. I think it's from the first movie, right, that they show it. Yeah. Second is the Desolation of Smaug. The third is the battle of the 5 armies. So this is from, again, Unexpected Journey. There you go, an Unexpected Journey. So that's the bottom. And then in a really nice homage, you can see actually a little bird's nest with 3 eggs, and that's what they're using to hold him up, which I think is just really cute and very unique. And then I'm going to put this aside, and let's just kind of take a look here at the hat. Again, this is by necessity PVC, but you can kind of take a look at the straps, at the hat, the little feather. Just really very well done. You can see the bird poop on the side, and then the hat by design choice was meant to give you sort of like this ear-like impression, the way the hat is, and it's almost like a rabbit or a hare, some sort of rodent or a mouse. You can take a look at the very fine texturing that's been done. You can check it out here. All that texturing is very muddy. Now this is a wizard who's very in tune with nature, with the wildlife. He doesn't really care what he looks like. This is in stark contrast to Saruman the White, who is very much about appearances, very severe, very formal, very rigid, like a machine, like an industry. So this is definitely contrast. You can read about the design choices for Radagast, in the pamphlet that I recorded for you. So that's sort of the close-up work, and I'm going to just kind of give you a more panoramic view of this. So there you have it. I'm going to put this back. So sadly, once we put the hat on, you're not going to see the cute little bird's nest. So there you have it, just like that. And maybe part of the reason I like this thing so much is just because it's not like another helmet. I know that each of the helmets are very different. The orcs and the Gondorians and the Rohirrim, the crowns and the Uruk-hai, they all have their own unique design choice. But after a while, you have to admit that most, by just because of the way it is, the mini helms are all metallic. They're all helms. And so there is a little bit of a sameness after a while. Like, we talked about the fact that the helm of the concept helm of Arwen, for instance, or a Rohirrim soldier's helm versus the helm of King Theoden versus Prince Theodred versus, Eomer. They're all Rohirrim design, just like all the different Gondorian helms are the same, or the Mirkwood elves with small little differences. So any kind of mini helm that's a departure from that and has its own unique look, in a sense has its own unique voice, so to speak, that catches my eye, right? Like the Uruk-hai captain and general, like the orc skull, like the little skull, human skull on top of the helm. That's like one of the most unique versions. Like some of the ring wraith designs that come with Easterling, and of course the hats, like Gandalf's hat and now Radagast, the Brown's hat. It just kind of shakes things up a little bit, it changes things up a little bit, and I do enjoy that. And I feel like that Weta Workshop is trying. I don't know how they feel about their decision to move away from metal. Maybe again, it was something that was inevitable, that couldn't be avoided. But I like to think that within the confines of what they have to work with, they are trying to bring a little bit extra value to the line. I mean, these aren't cheap. They're all about $100 minimum once you factor in tax and shipping. And for the material, that's quite frankly, I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's a bit of a ripoff. So I'm glad that they're at least trying to do things, to do something unique, to do something interesting. And this definitely counts, definitely adds to that. And the last couple of releases have been quite good in my opinion. I mean, not perfect, but again, the Ring Wraith of Rune, the alternative concept Witch King, this hat, the Crown of King Theoden. It shows that there is some life left in the line. There's been 24. This is now 24. This is the 24th mini helm released by Weta Workshop. I think there was well over 30. I want to say 39. I think in the original Sideshow Weta line. So they're catching up. There's a lot of helms total, getting over 60 now. And I mean, I do wonder how many more there could be. They tend to release them in pairs. And I could have sworn that at this point, they've kind of done everything that there's out there. I mean, when you're like putting in stuff that wasn't even in the movie, like, Arwen's Rohirrim helmet or the alternative concept of the Witch King that they scrapped, you're really getting to the nitty gritty, the ends of it, I think. So I do wonder if at some point they're going to call it a day. I mean, there's just not any more designs to create. But when they do call it a day, I mean, I'll have some conflicted feelings, again, because of the disappointment that they're not all metal. But, kind of weighed against that, I will be, I think, overall happy because I'll feel like they've done everything they can with this line. And more than anything else, certainly more than statues and even more than the busts, it's sort of like a visual, overview of the glorious 6 movies from The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and kind of just showcases all the different designs and the richness and variety, right, and breadth of the designs for these, races and characters, and countries and nations. And I feel like it's a true representative, what's the word? A true representative painting almost, or swath of those movie design choices. And so I'll be happy that I'll have, all 60 or 70 of them when it's all said and done, because, it showcases so much. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. I like it. Of the recent batch, this is one of my favorites. So there you go. This is again the mini helm line. This is the hat of Radagast the Brown, and they put something a little bit new again with the nest that's hidden on the inside of the hat, which again I think is really, really cute. And if you look at that, they did spend quite a bit of time putting it together. Look at all the detail for it does look like a nest of little twigs and branches. So they still got a little bit of creativity, and that's definitely appreciated. Love the little bird poop on the side, the feather, and then sort of the ear-like nature of the flaps of the hat. Just a genius design, and then Mr. Sean Bolton brought it wonderfully to life. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little tiny side adventure into the mini helm line. And until next time, do take care.